All the people that was rooting on me to fail, at the end of the day, they got to wake up tomorrow, have the same life that they had before they woke up today. They got the same personal problems that they had today. And I'm going to continue to live the way I want to live and continue to do the things that I want to do with me and my family and be happy with that. So,
this is LeBron James after losing to the Dallas Mavericks in the 2011 NBA Finals. He seems kind of salty, but I get it, because he know he about to get clowned by basketball fans and talking heads alike after this one. Let me take you back real quick. LeBron James, the #1 overall pick of the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 2003, spent 7 amazing seasons in Cleveland where he became a perennial All-NBA first-teamer and a 2-time MVP in Cleveland. But one thing LeBron couldn't do in Cleveland is win a championship. LeBron never had the supporting cast in Cleveland to get him over the hump. So in 2010, after another disappointing playoff exit for LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James made a decision that would change the NBA forever.
In this fall, man, it's very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
LeBron James was joining the Miami Heat and teaming up with All-Stars Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to form Miami's Big Three. LeBron received tons of backlash for not only the decision 1 hour special and the way it was handled, but also for his decision to join the Heat, teaming up with All-Stars rather than build his own team. But either way, the hype surrounding this team was huge, and LeBron and the Heat made it no secret their expectations for this team.
3 kings came down here to win championships. Not 1, championships.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
And like that, the Miami Heat became the new villains of the NBA. Every arena they walked into was a sold-out arena, ready to boo their lungs out. But the Heat embraced their role as villains throughout the season, getting 58 wins and the 2 seed in the East. They dismantled the defending Eastern Conference champion Boston Celtics in 5 before taking out MVP Derrick Rose and the top seed Chicago Bulls in 5 in the Eastern Conference Finals to set up an NBA Finals matchup with the Dallas Mavericks. Going into this series, and about a game and 3 quarters into it, everyone expected the Heat to roll through this series, but that just didn't happen. Dirk went into a superstar bag and took over the series, while LeBron oftentimes looked timid and confused. He couldn't even post up 5'10" JJ Barea. The Heat would lose this series on their home floor in 6 games, and ain't no other way to put it, but LeBron and the Heat went out sad. That's why LeBron's so salty in his press conference. So while NBA Twitter and every sports show in America was flaming LeBron for coming up short in the finals, LeBron James was on vacation with Dwayne Wade and the Banana Boat crew. That's when Dwayne officially handed the keys to the team to LeBron, told him that he's the best player on the team and the best player in the world, and he needs to lead that way. That conversation with D-Wade, along with personal reflection about his role as a villain and how it really didn't fit his personality, it led to LeBron having maybe his best season yet, leading the Heat to another 2 seed in the East and winning his 3rd MVP trophy. After taking out the Knicks and the Pacers in the first 2 rounds, it would set up an Eastern Conference Finals matchup with a really familiar foe. The Boston Celtics have been a thorn in the side of LeBron James dating back to his days in Cleveland. In 2008, the Celtics took out LeBron and the Cavaliers in an epic 7-game series. I got a whole video on it. What a Series, Episode 2. Check it out. In 2010, the Celtics put an end to the LeBron James era in Cleveland, knocking off the top-seeded Cavs in 6 games. But last season, with LeBron now with the Miami Heat, the Celtics were dismantled in the second round of the playoffs in 5 games. That began the questions on if Boston's Big Three were done. With their 3 All-Stars entering their mid to late 30s, many questioned if they had enough to make another serious run at the title. The Celtics were able to grab the 4 seed in the East. After beating the Hawks in 6, they got the 8 seed 76ers after they upset the top seed Chicago Bulls after Derrick Rose's devastating knee injury. The Celtics were able to squeak out a win in a tough 7-game series, setting up a conference finals matchup with the Heat, where the Celtics will be a huge underdog. While it's true, Boston's Big Three, they may have lost a step, but Rajon Rondo was showing us why he might be the best player on the team. Game 1 in the MIAO. The Heat looking to set the tone on this series on their home floor, and they did exactly that, with their stifling defense in the first quarter holding the Celtics to just 11 points. but the Celtics would battle back, led by KG's 13 points, while LeBron had 17 in a 46-46 game at the half. In the second half, LeBron will continue to dominate, putting the Heat up double digits heading into the fourth. And it was D-Wade who put him away in the fourth when he scored 10 of his 22 points, leading the Heat to a 93-79 victory in Game 1. Back in Dade County for Game 2, as the Heat tried to go up 2-0 in this series, but it was the Celtics who took control in the first half, led by Rajon Rondo's 22 points and 7 assists. The Celtics led by as much as 15 in the first half, but the Heat were able to cut the lead to 7 at the break. D-Wade and LeBron turned it up in the second half, grabbing the Heat a 6-point lead heading into the fourth. But the Celtics would not go away, grabbing a 3-point lead with just over 2 minutes left to play until this Shane Battier 3-pointer tied the game up at 94. Fast forward 47 seconds left to play. D-Wade draws the foul and heads to the line, where he only makes one of his 2 free throws to make it a 3-point game. After a Celtics timeout, Ray Allen buries this 3 to tie the game with 34 seconds left. Following possession, LeBron drives to the rack, misses the layup, but he gets the rebound. Now the shot clock is off. LeBron holds for the last shot, and it's off. And now we headed to overtime. In overtime, Rondo was giving all he had, trying to get his team this victory. But after this KG turnover that led to the D-Wade and 1, but the Heat up by 5, that was pretty much it. Couple late Rondo 3-pointers put him at a career-high 44 points. But it wouldn't be enough to top LeBron's 34 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists as the Heat take Game 2 in the overtime 115-111 victory to take a 2-0 series lead. Series headed back to Boston with the Celtics down 2-0. It was a back-and-forth battle in the first quarter, but the Celtics would start to take control in the second quarter, led by Paul Pierce's 15 first-half points, and the Celtics led by 13 at the break. In the second half, Boston continued to play great ball, and they had great ball movement and stifling defense to put the Celtics up by 22 heading into the fourth quarter. The Heat will make a run to cut the lead to single digits, but the Celtics will finish out strong, getting 20-plus point performances from Pierce, Garnett, and Rondo in the 101-91 victory. Game 4 in Boston, Celtics trying to even this series up at 2 games apiece. The Celtics got out to a hot start, grabbing an 11-point lead after the first quarter. The hot play will continue into the second, with the Celtics taking a 61-47 lead into the locker room, led by 18 points from Paul Pierce and 10 assists in the first half from Rajon Rondo. In the second half, the Heat would answer back, cutting the lead to 5 heading into the fourth quarter. The Heat finally took the lead with 8:22 to play, and the teams would go back and forth until the final minutes. This layup by Kevin Garnett with 52 seconds left put the Celtics up by 3. Following possession, D-Wade kicks it to LeBron for the 3 to tie the game with 37 seconds left. Next possession, Kevin Garnett going strong inside. LeBron draws the charge and his Miami ball with 21 seconds to play. Final possession of regulation. LeBron drives, kicks to Haslam for the game winner. No good, and for the second time in this series, we going overtime. In overtime, both teams struggled to score, but Miami only trailed by 2 in the final moments. This game-winning 3-point attempt by Dwayne Wade is off the mark, and the Celtics escape with a 93-91 victory, led by 15 Rajon Rondo assists and 6 Celtics in double digits to tie this series at 2 games apiece. Back in South Beach for this crucial Game 5, the Heat set the tone early. LeBron was dominant in the first half with his 18 points and 9 rebounds, but the Celtics hung in there and only trailed by 2 at halftime. In the second half, Boston started taking control, ending the third quarter on a 15-1 run to take a 5-point lead into the fourth quarter. Back and forth battle throughout the fourth. This layup by Dwayne Wade tied the game at 85 with 1:39 to play. A couple of Paul Pierce free throws put the Celtics up by 2. Then Udonis Haslem made 1 or 2 free throws on the other end to keep it a 1-point game. That's when Paul Pierce buries this 3 to put the Celtics up by 4. Clutch free throws by Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett, who led the way with 26 points and 11 boards, put this game away as the Celtics take it 94-90 in Miami to take a 3-2 lead in this series. Game 6 back in Beantown. Celtics have already done the unthinkable with a chance to close out this series on their home floor against the same Miami Heat team that demolished them in 5 games just a season ago. The pressure was squarely on the shoulders of LeBron James to get this series back to Miami. And you could see it in his eyes. He was ready to fuck shit up. Coming out the gate strong, LeBron just looked like a man on a mission, taking control and being aggressive inside. He scored 30 points in the first half on 12 of 14 shooting from the field, getting the Heat out to a 13-point lead at the half. In the second half, the Celtics tried, but they could never really get back into this game as LeBron had his foot on the pedal all the way to the finish, putting on one of the best performances in one of the biggest moments of his career. LeBron will finish the game with 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists on 73% shooting from the field in the Heat's 89-79 victory to force the best 2 words in sports. Game 7 from American Airlines Arena in Miami. Could LeBron follow up his insane Game 6 performance and get the Heat back to the finals? Or could Boston bounce back and win another one in Miami to get them back to the finals? It's a back and forth battle throughout the first half. Saw the Celtics get an advantage with Rondo setting up teammates to get him 10 assists, and they got 15 points from Brandon Bass in the first half, and Boston went to the locker room with a 53-46 lead. The Heat came out strong in the third, getting good play from role players like Shane Battier and Mario Chalmers to tie this game at 73, headed into the fourth quarter. Here we go. Early in the fourth quarter, this Ray Allen 3 put the Celtics up by 1. Then Miami's big 3 of James Wade and Bosh started to take over. This Rondo layup cut the Heat lead to 5 with 5:13 to play. As the Heat continued to pour it on, the Celtics went on a scoring drought of nearly 5 minutes, putting the nails in their own coffin. Despite another Rondo triple-double, the Celtics fall 101-88 as the Miami Heat are headed back to the NBA Finals for the second year in a row, led by 31 points and 12 rebounds from LeBron James. The Miami Heat went on to meet Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and the young upstart Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals. The Heat were actually the underdogs in this series. After losing Game 1, the Heat were going to win 4 straight to capture the title. LeBron James, after 8 years in the NBA, and especially turbulent 2 years in Miami filled with criticism and speculation on if he could ever get it done, finally captured his first championship. But what if the Celtics were able to rally in that Game 7 and beat the Heat to advance to the NBA Finals? First off, at least another year of LeBron getting flamed by basketball analysts, critics, and gas bags as he will still be yet to win a championship. But let's get to this NBA Finals series. Celtics vs. Thunder. I think that could be an intriguing matchup. Would the young Thunder be able to outgun this older Celtics team? Or would the Celtics championship experience be enough to take out this inexperienced Thunder team? I would put my money on OKC. Just think about it. If this core of Durant, Westbrook, Harden, and Ibaka wins the title in 2012, they never break up. Harden gets his extension and never goes to Houston. With Harden still on the team, they could overcome a Russell Westbrook injury like they did in the 2013 playoffs and still compete for a title. The possibilities are endless for this team, and this title would drastically alter the future of this league. A Boston winning the finals would solidify the legacy of Boston's Big 3 by winning 2 championships. Also with that win, they may be able to retain free agent Ray Allen, who would be pivotal to the Heat's title run in 2013. What do y'all think? You think the Thunder can go on to dominate a title run if they win it all in 2012? Or does Boston take it and extend their run, potentially not making the Brooklyn trade that got them the assets to get them Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? I don't know. But what I do know is we saw a veteran team battling down to the wire, but coming up short against the king finally ready to sit on his throne. What a series.
And the Miami Heat will be back as well. I don't even think we need to say, well, he needs X amount of rings to start talking.